Hey everyone, welcome back to the Corbin Report. Here are some of my thoughts from this weekend's NFL games. Quite a bit stuff happening, and also stay tuned for the rankings. There's some new teams in the top 10, a new number 1, new top 3, and there's even 11 teams in the top 10. Find out how by listening to the rest. Now on to some thoughts I have. How does a Chiefs-Colts AFC Championship game this year sound? What if the Chiefs just shut out the Raiders, and the Colts handled the Chargers, and the Chiefs have Rashee Rice back now? Also, the Colts have the best record not only in the AFC but in all the NFL. Who would have thought that this year? And I never want anyone to lose their job, but are the Dolphins moving on from head coach Mike McDaniels after losing to the Cleveland Browns? The Browns now have 2 wins, and they aren't that good either. But their rookie running back, Judkins, goodness gracious. Also, how in the world did the Denver Broncos come back and beat the New York Giants? If the Giants would have won, I would have said they were legitimate and real, because they would have shut out Denver, who was struggling. Somehow Denver comes back and wins. Don't know how, don't know what happened, but they lost to Denver and Denver won. Now they play the Eagles this week, and they did beat them the last time they played, which shocked, I would say, a lot of people, mostly everyone. And I don't know if they'll beat them this time, but we'll find out. Also, overseas, the Rams embarrassed the Jaguars, which I thought that would have been an upset by the Jaguars, them proving themselves they belong in the top of the league. And the Rams did this, and Stafford did this without Puka Nacua. Matthew Stafford still has it. Here's something that's not shocking, is the 49ers find a way to win again without Brock Purdy. George Kittle has no catches, yet the Niners won, and they beat the Falcons, who just beat the Bills. Just goes to show, as I've said earlier, the Falcons are very inconsistent, and at least if I get anything right, I can get that right. Washington also lost to Dallas, and their next game is against the Chiefs. Talk about a rough schedule. The Las Vegas Raiders are one of the worst teams in the league. Chiefs-Colts are top 5 teams. The Detroit Lions beat the Buccaneers with some defensive starters out. But the next man up on the defense, man, did they show up and balled out. And they played and dominated. With their defense hurt, I have them moving down. Not being the number 1 team, but moving down. Still one of the best teams. Also, Sam Darnold is looking good. The Texans' offense sucks. And that's a hard word, but just saying what it is. But their defense is still good. They had 4 takeaways, is what I've heard the broadcasters say. And their offense can't do anything. I don't know why. Houston didn't go for the onside kick. Also, I missed one time they were driving, and I don't know what happened. But I do know there were 2 times they could have kicked field goals. Instead of going for 2, should have kicked the extra point, meaning that 7 points they could have had back. And they would have been down 1 point. The Texans had a chance to get the ball back. They were going to get the ball back, have a chance to score, get the 2-point conversion. But one of their defensive players had a room for them, get a penalty, jumped on the pile on 3rd down, and ended up being an automatic 1st down instead of letting it go. Now in the rankings, there is a new number 1, top 3 and top 10, as there was plenty of movement in this week's rankings. There are 11 teams in the top 10. How? There are even 2 teams, you'll find out where they're at, and they're tied. So starting at number 10, moving up 8, finding ways to win, not surprising me. It is the San Francisco 49ers. Now at 9, we have, moving down 8, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But not the only one at 9. It's also the Buffalo Bills, moving down 1. These are the two teams tied at 9 in the top 10 rankings, which is how we have 11 teams in the top 10, leaving one spot open, so there's no team ranked 13th. At number 8, moving up 6, we have the Bears. First time in the top 10. Another first team in the top 10, or first time in the top 10, I believe, are the New England Patriots at 7, moving up 6. Moving back into the top 10, moving up 5 spots, it's the Los Angeles Rams. At number 5, going down 2, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Staying the same at number 4, it's the Seattle Seahawks. Teams above them are just better, and also the Seahawks played the Texans. Moving down 2, no longer number 1, it's the Detroit Lions. The reason they're not number 1 is because their defense is just not completely healthy. But their offense is, I would say, one of the best offenses in the league. Not only that, their offensive line can basically, I feel, play any position. Even when some are out, some will step in and play different positions, and it's just ridiculous. At number 2, moving up 4, cracking the top 5, it is the Indianapolis Colts. At number 1, a new number 1. Some of you aren't going to like me for this. Some of you are, and that's totally fine. Because as much as I just said, I don't really like this either, but it is what it is. I had the Chiefs up 4 at number 1, and yes, I know they played the Raiders and lost to the Lions, but I just think overall they're just that good. And then also, let's go back to the Colts. They have proven themselves. Quarterback Daniel Jones went off, and so did Justin Herbert for the Chargers. But that's also because they were getting embarrassed by Indianapolis. So they threw the ball a lot. For Indy, they are atop the AFC and the NFL with a 6-1 record. And realistically, they actually should be undefeated. They lost to the Rams, but they should have beat them. They were playing without one of their best defensive players, Charvarius Ward, and were still able to contain the Chargers. Daniel Jones completed 23 passes from 34 attempts for 288 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He passed it to multiple players, well, at least against the Chargers. His running mate, literally, Jonathan Taylor, had 16 carries for 94 yards. So not a lot of yards, but what did he do? He scored 3 touchdowns. Then for LA, they lost by 14, but they could not stop the Colts from what I saw. That's what it looked like. They might have got one stop when I was watching the end of the game. Herbert threw completed 37 passes out of 55 attempts for 420 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. I'd say if the Colts defense didn't make those 2 interceptions, perhaps this game would have went to overtime. Also, is the Colts division game against the Titans a trap game? Cam Ward is able to make throws, but as a whole, the team cannot do anything. They are able to score points, though. And I told a friend as a joke, Daniel Jones for MVP, or is it Jonathan Taylor? Stay tuned to who else I think can be nominated for MVP. If they keep it up or they go off. So MVPs, I can see Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield. Maybe someone else steps up. Could a rookie win MVP, like maybe the Bucs rookie receiver Emeka Egbuka? Who knows? With the Bucs, they did lose one of their receivers, their number 1 receiver in Mike Evans, which according to NFL.com, he'll miss most of the rest of the season. He has a broken clavicle, and he suffered that in the loss to Detroit. He will not be having another consecutive season with 1,000 yards receiving. This is a big blow to the Bucs. The bright side is they do have rookie receiver Egbuka, who has shown life. and promise and should be the new number one even when Godwin comes back. And they have Cameron and Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard have shown what they can do. The Bucs defense can only do so much. Veteran receiver Tyler Lockett was released by the Titans. I thought Lockett would have been a starting receiver at Tennessee, but that was not the case. Maybe that could have helped them. However, now he'll be able to play somewhere else. He might have been a starter, but on the depth chart he ended up being backup, so I don't know what happened, if he was or wasn't. But where will Lockett sign and what team can use him? I've seen things of teams that can use him, and I can think of two teams off the bat, one from each conference. It's the Niners and the Steelers. He can reunite with DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh, or help a struggling, injured 49ers team. Yes, I know Jennings came back. Pierce all they're waiting to come back. Ayuk will come back later. But if they get injured again, it could help out. Worst case scenario, he could be the fourth receiver. Who knows? Also, I think other teams that could use him are the Giants, without Neighbors. Commanders, I'm not going to say the Raiders because right now they could use anyone. Or even other two teams are the Dolphins and the Bills do need another receiver. They have one tall guy in Coleman and Shakir who's speedy. Maybe they could use a third speedy guy. Coming out of retirement, Brandon Graham is signing with the Eagles. I think this will benefit them in the long run. I think I keep going back and forth what I say about their defense being good than okay. This should help with the pass rush, which Graham can do. And alongside Jalen Carter, this could propel the Eagles to the playoffs again. Or can it? I'm not sold on the Super Bowl because I think they can beat the Giants this time. But I don't know how they'll do in the playoffs because they've had close games, including their win over the Vikings. Also, the Vikings play the Chargers this Thursday. Carson Wentz will be starting from them. Can he help lead them to a win against a depleted Chargers offensive line? This game, I think, will come down to what can the Vikings offense do against the Chargers defense. Now, in baseball, we have the World Series matchup. It's going to be the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers after the Blue Jays came back to win Game 7 against the Mariners. But the Dodgers are looking to repeat as World Series champions, while the Blue Jays look to crush that, and by crushing, they can crush pitches for homers. Also, for all you soccer fans and fans of the MLS, playoffs start October 22nd, which is Wednesday. And the NBA season has started October 21st already. The champs host the New Look Rockets, and the Lakers host the Warriors. Lakers are playing without LeBron, but do have Luka and Reeves, while the Rockets don't have a point guard. Now here are my top 10 rankings for the NBA. If you'd like to see all 30, let me know and I'll post them on social media. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them on social media, but I'll let you know. At number 10, I have the Orlando Magic. At number 9, the Detroit Pistons. At number 8, the LA Clippers. At number 7, it's the other LA team, the LA Lakers. Shouldn't say the other, but I'm a fan of the Lakers. At number 6, the Spurs. At number 5, the Cavs. Number 4, the Nuggets. Number 3, the Nuggets. Number 3, the Knicks. Excuse me. Because I said Nuggets, just with it, an I. At number 2, the Timberwolves. And at number 1, the defending champs, the Thunder, which I see them winning again. And that's just who I have right now. And I'll let you know, playoff-wise, who I have making after the end of this week. And I don't know if I'll be able to do the rankings for the NBA. They play a bunch of games all week. Let you know. Thanks for listening to the Corbin Report. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you have any comments or questions, please comment. And I'll do my best to get back to you. If you want to hear anything else, let me know. All right, bye.